Hello, back with another review, everyone. On today's review, we'll be talking about the Netflix anime Yasuke. I know that some people don't like how Netflix animated series are called anime, and I get the point there, but just I want to get this out. I, on the other hand, don't care if it's called a cartoon, animation, anime, they're all the same in my book. But now let's get on with the review by talking about Netflix's anime Yasuke. Also, yes, there will be spoilers in this. You have been warned. Now let's start with the first part. What is Yasuke? Well, Yasuke is a Japanese-American original net anime, which is based on a historical figure of the same name. We'll talk about the real Yasuke later, before now we will focus on the anime Yasuke and his story. Yasuke is a samurai of African descent. He is called the Black Samurai, and was a samurai who served under Japanese daimyo Oba Nobunaga in the Sengoku period samurai conflict in 16th century Japan. The anime was created by LeSean Thomas and animated by Japanese animation studio MAPPA. Lakeith Stanfield voices Yasuke, and the series was released April 29, 2021 on Netflix. The story takes place in an alternate reality of 16th century feudal Japan that is reimagined with magic. Advanced technology evolved. An African man named Yasuke went from being in the service of Jesuit missionaries during the Namban trade to being a warrior and retainer in the service of Lord Oba Nobunaga. But in 1582, he the witness of the fall of Nobunaga's forces in battle at Honnoji Temple against the army of the Dark General who serves the demonic warlord Yamino Daimyo. When Nobunaga is killed by doing a samurai skill called Senpeku, which is a ritual suicide, basically ghastly act involved by stabbing oneself in the belly with a short sword, slicing open through stomach, and then turning the blade upwards to ensure a fatal wound. At least that's what it looked like to me, since I did look up what Senpeku meant when doing some research on samurai, and from what I heard in the Most Amazing Top 10 video. I'll link that video if you're more interested in it. But anyways, Nobunaga dies and Japan is taken over by the demonic warlord Yamino Daimyo. 20 years later pass and Yasuke stores his past away and becomes a legendary Ronin. Ronin are samurai who do not have masters, and is known as the Black Samurai, so he leaves all this behind and retires as a boatman, remaining himself as Yasan in the remote village. But there he encounters a singer of the local bar named Ichika, who asks him to take her and her daughter Saki up the river, who is sick, magical powers, so they need to go north and see a special doctor who can help her. He refuses at first, but later agrees. When they do set off, they are attacked by mercenaries who are after Ichika and Saki, and it turns out Yamano Daimyo is after Saki because of her powers. Ichika dies, and Yasuke is forced to protect Saki and take her to the special doctor. Now, the music was done by Flying Lotus, and I have to say it's fantastic, and definitely recommend listening to the music. As for the animation by MAPPA, it is also good, especially the scenes where Saki is using her powers The blue glow is so powerful and amazing coloring. It's fantastic. Now let's talk about history. In 1579, it says Yasuke had arrived in Japan in the service of Italian Jesuit missionary Alessandro Viganaro, visitor of missions in the Indies, in India. Yasuke was one of several Africans to have come from the Portuguese to Japan during the Nippon trade. With the arrival of the Europeans to Japan, and it was taught by some that Yasuke was the first African that Nobunaga had ever seen. Yasuke was also present during the Honnoji incident where Nobunaga was forced to commit suicide at the hands of his general Akechi Mitsuhide on June 21st, 1582. In Yasuke's early life, it states in
Histoire ecclésiastique trials et royaumes du Japon.
Sorry, I had to use Google to translate that. What it means is it translates to Historical History of the Islands and Kingdoms of Japan, written by Jesuit priest Francois Solier of the Society of Jesus in 1627. It reads that Yasuke was likely from Mozambique, yet there are no further accounts corroborates of this alleged assumption. With other accounts of Africans from Mozambique in Japan, it is according to Fujita Midori that the first African people who came to Japan were Mesopotamian. It was researched that they reached Japan in 1546 as shipmates or slaves who served Portuguese captain Jorge Alvarez. There was also explorer by the same name as the captain here, but they died in 1521. In 2013, on a Japanese TBS program called Sekai Fushigeheiken, in English, Discovery of World's Mysteries, they suggested that Yasuke was Makwa. They are a group found in northern Mesopotamia and southern borders province of Tanzania. They believed Yasuke's real name was Yasuke, however, the program provided little evidence of its conductions. The Makwa are not documented as having had any significant contact with Portuguese, based in Mozambique until 1585. Another theory states Yasuke may have been a member of the Yao people. The Yao people were just coming into contact with Portuguese at the time, which might account for his name, that is, Yao added to the common Japanese male name suffix of suke, produces for Yasuke. Anyways, that's all the information I'm gonna put out on the real life Yasuke. I'll add a link to the video of the Wikipedia for you to check out later if you're interested. Now let's get back to the anime. Now, would I recommend to watch Yasuke? Yes, of course, I would. Though I do have some problems with Yasuke, that being the storytelling. The storyline is good, but there are some senses that really don't make sense and were not explained that much. For instance, Natsumaru, she is a lady samurai who is revealed to be a member of the Uga clan, and also a spy for Hattori Hanzo within Nobunaga's ranks. She is seen throughout Yasuke's flashbacks, and she was killed by Yasuke when he discovers her secret in the battle with Hanzo's army. Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, there is a necklace that Natsumaru had with a flower design to it. In the beginning of episode 1, Ichika is shown to have the same necklace, and Yasuke had questioned her about it. Ichika hid the necklace under her clothes. After that, there isn't really a lot of information to talk about the necklace up to it was important somehow, like if Ichika and Natsumaru are either related or come from, I'm guessing, they might have something to do with Iga clan, but I don't know. Now, in the storytelling, some of the episodes got confusing to me. like at the ending of episode 4, Yasuke gets into a fight with some Daimyo soldiers as he leaves when dropping off Saki at the place where she was going with Ichika, and he refused to say it seems, and then the episode ends. In episode 5, it didn't pick up where it was left off in episode 4, and Yasuke was back with Saki, and there was a battle with the Daimyo soldiers. So basically they already get to the last battle, leaving this gap here that I really don't understand what happened during that time skip. Also, the mercenaries return as good guys in the battle because Saki used her powers to call them over with a promise of getting paid. Well, they died except Ikoja, who is a African shaman. And you know something? He is kind of an a-hole. Why? Well, he obviously didn't care that his companions died. Like one shot in the head, Robot Guy sacrificed himself and self-destructed, and Bear Girl got her guts ripped open with dark magic. And well, Ikoja did help with defending the village they were in. I just found it off-putting that he showed some remorse that his companions' work died. He was just happy that he got paid. Also, there was this mutant priestess named Abraham who serves the Catholic Church and was Saki and all that stuff. When Ichika died, he blamed her death on Yasuke, saying he killed her, and Saki accidentally hurt on one of the male characters with the magic, and the villagers started calling her the Devil Child. But at the ending, when they defeat Yamano Daimyo, they go back to the village and everything is good, and that it was just a misunderstanding, which it is. But I thought they would be so angry a little or somewhat, because it ain't easy to tell a lot of people that it was all a lie. But that's all the problems I had with Yasuke. Also, I found out when doing the research for this that there was going to be a live action Yasuke movie, but it was cancelled because the lead actor for Yasuke was going to be played by MCU's Black Panther actor Chadwick Boseman, who died in August of 2020. I wonder what would happen if that movie did came underway, but you can tell why that ain't happening anymore. Also, I really don't have a lot of solid proof. This is something I found while doing research for the review. Anyways, I think what I like about Yasuke and how they got a Japanese animation studio working on it instead of like Castlevania and I guess Blood of Zeus, but both are good Netflix works too, even if I had not finished watching them yet. But that's all I gotta say. Okay, I think it's time to close off the review. Anyways, I still recommend watching it because the music and animation is wonderfully done. As for storytelling, it might lackluster, but it's still overall good work. Anyways, this ends the review. Remember to like and comment your thoughts on Yasuke. And if you want to see more by me, subscribe or follow me on Wattpad. I also post these reviews in Wattpad with a script in tow. So check out my review book. Anyways, see ya. Sora-chan is hee-ho out of here.